Every night, this ant leaves her colony and goes somewhere she can be killed. She is at the top of a blade of grass, in the open, and she has been there for hours. Her jaws are locked shut around the stem. She is not moving. She is not feeding. She is waiting for something to eat her. And when the sun comes up, she will let go, walk back down, and spend the whole day working like nothing happened. 3 questions. Why she only does this in the dark, why she stops at dawn, and why the parasite giving the order will never collect on it. Host or hijacker? No one is safe. This starts somewhere else entirely. It starts inside a snail. A land snail grazes across grass that has been fouled by an infected sheep and swallows the eggs of a fluke, a flatworm, flat as a leaf. 6 to 10 millimeters long, that lives in the bile ducts of grazing animals. Its name is Dicrocoelium dendriticum, the lancet liver fluke, and it is going to need 3 completely different animals to finish one lap of its life. Inside the snail, those eggs hatch, and they do not stay one. They multiply. A handful of eggs becomes hundreds of larvae, all identical, all built from the same original. The snail is not killed by this, it is inconvenienced. And it does what a snail does with anything irritating in its breathing chamber. It packages the problem in mucus and pushes it out. What it leaves on the ground is a ball of slime with hundreds of parasites inside it. Now, a slime ball is not a trap. Nobody designed it as bait. It is just what a snail produces. But out on dry ground, in the sun, it happens to be a small package of water and protein sitting in the open, and there is an animal in that field whose entire job is finding exactly that and carrying it home. The ant does not make a mistake. She finds food. And it is food. She drinks. Inside her, the larvae spread out through her body cavity and settle. And most of them do the same thing. Each one builds a hard protective cyst around itself and stops. Dozens of them, sometimes 50 or more, packed into her abdomen, sealed, patient, doing nothing. From the outside, there is no sign. She is not sick, she is not slow. She forages, she carries, she feeds her sisters. But 1 or 2 of them do not stop there. They keep going, forward through her body, past the organs, up to the cluster of nerve tissue that sits underneath her esophagus, the part of an insect that runs the mouth parts. And there they do something none of their siblings do. They do not build a cyst, they settle in bare, directly against the nerve. Hold on to that, because it is the whole ending of this story and it is easy to walk past. Every other larva in her body is armored. This one is not. For a while, nothing happens. Nobody in the colony treats her differently. She is a worker among tens of thousands of workers. Then the sun starts going down. As the temperature drops, this ant does something no healthy ant does. She leaves the trail. Not far, she does not wander off. She finds a stem, and she climbs. Up, away from the nest, away from cover, out past every leaf and every hiding place, all the way to the very tip where there is nothing above her and nothing around her. And she bites down. Now here is the part almost everyone gets wrong. She is not standing guard up there, she is not holding on, and she is not choosing to stay. Below about 15 degrees, the muscles that close her jaws go into tetany. They seize, they clamp shut and lock, and she physically cannot open them. She is not gripping the grass, she is stuck to it. And this is the point where I have to be straight with you, because it is the question you are already asking. That the larva against the nerve tissue is what does this is very well supported. It is reliably found in that exact spot in the ants that climb, and modern imaging has taken us right up to it. but nobody has isolated a signal it sends. Nobody has shown the pathway. The one thing measured cleanly is the trigger, and the trigger is temperature. Which means we know the switch, we do not know the hand on it. So she hangs there for hours, in the cold and the dark, at the exact height a grazing animal takes its mouthful. Not hidden, not defended, just up and out and available. And most nights nothing comes. The sun rises, the air warms, and above about 18 degrees, the lock opens. She lets go. She climbs down the stem. That part has been watched and measured. What happens next has not been followed step by step, and the honest version is this. She walks off, and the reasonable assumption, the one the researchers themselves make, is that she rejoins the colony and works the day like any other ant. Nobody has filmed her shift. But whatever is sitting on her nerve tissue is not draining her, not steering her by daylight, not doing anything anyone has been able to see. And at dusk, she climbs again. That is worth sitting with. We have spent this whole series on parasites that hollow their hosts out, burst through their skin, or walk them somewhere to die. This one gives an order at nightfall and takes it back at dawn, and it will do that for weeks. Not a killing, a schedule. And it only has to work once. One morning, a sheep or a cow grazes across that patch early, while the dew is still on and the ants are still locked, and takes her in with the grass. Inside that animal, the cysts in her abdomen open in the small intestine. Those larvae travel up the bile duct, into the liver, and grow into adults. They lay eggs. And they are not alone in there. In a heavily infected sheep, 50,000 of these worms can be packed into one liver, and here is the part that fits everything else about this parasite. An animal carrying 50,000 of them may show almost no clinical signs at all. It takes what it needs and stays under the threshold where anyone would do something about it. The eggs leave in the animal's droppings, back onto the grass where a snail will graze across them. And the whole thing starts again. 3 hosts. A snail, an ant, and a sheep, none of which have anything to do with each other, all of them linked by a worm that never travels under its own power. But go back to the one in her head. Its siblings all built cysts, and a cyst is what gets you through a stomach. The one that went to the nerve tissue never built one. It went in bare. So when the ant is finally swallowed, that larva does not survive the digestion. It is broken down with her. It gave the order every night for weeks. It put 50 of its siblings in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. And it does not cross. It was never going to. And do not let anyone sell you the word zombie here. Nothing took over her mind. There is no mind to take over in the sense you are imagining. There is a bundle of nerve tissue that operates a set of jaws, something resting against it, and a temperature threshold. That is the machine, which is the thing that stays with me about this one. It does not damage her, it does not shorten her working day or take her strength or mark her out. It borrows her for the dark hours, when the colony has no use for her anyway, and then it hands her back before anyone needs her. The colony loses nothing it can measure. She loses nothing she could notice. Every single day, the books balance. And that is exactly why it works. A parasite that took something would eventually be dealt with. This one takes the hours nobody was counting. She is not a victim being destroyed. She is an appointment that keeps being kept. Host or hijacker. No one is safe. Next time, a wasp trapped inside a tree, its head jammed in a hole too small to escape through. Still alive, plugging the only exit it ever dug. And something is behind it, eating its way toward the light. Any guesses? Tell me below.